well, welcome back to the Triforce podcast with me, Lewis, also Sips.
Hi.
Hello, Sips. Also P-Flax.
Hi.
How
Good morning.
are you guys doing? Good week? Good energy? It's suddenly gone from summer to winter. I got soaked on the way in today. I'm gonna have to start carrying an umbrella around.
Oh.
It's a shift.
Worst
a
time of
monumental
year.
shift.
Umbrella season.
That time of year.
Ugh.
I hate it. It's just it puts a dampener on everything,
Hey!
man. It's just like
Oh.
Get out.
He's only gone and done it. He's
for
done
reals.
it.
If for reals.
But seriously, folks.
all the markets all like shut down, and there's no one anywhere, and it's all like I don't know. Just everyone feels like everyone's spirits are low as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like
seasonal affective disorder is a real thing. I suffer from it quite a lot. I suffer from a lot of weird shit, actually. And when it starts to get dark and the evenings draw in and the mornings are dark, I get so fucking miserable, and I hate being cold all the time. And my fucking arthritis plays up, and it's awful.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I'm like an old person now.
Oh, my piles
man.
are giving me jip.
Oh,
my
you
gout's
just-
all playing up.
Doing me bloody head in.
I've been thinking about it a lot recently, and I think my biggest problem is that I simply just have a small penis, and I can relate back a lot of the
problems in your
trouble and strife back to that one
Frustrations.
defining aspect of me
different
and my life.
How different do you think your life would have been if you had a massive cock, like absolutely fucking massive?
Oh man, I just thinking right now, free flights easily, right? You just go up to the desk, say I got a big one, and they're like, you don't even have to pay, sir. On you go. What flight do you want to
the
fly
seat
on?
with extra third leg room, so
All
you can
of them,
fit it
but
in
I'll
there.
need a spare seat for my dick.
For my
Just
enormous
think, yeah.
penis.
Flop right on there.
Like if you had a decent sized penis, you wouldn't have had that Ferrari,
Yeah.
impounded.
That's it.
And you wouldn't have,
I'm not saying decent
got
size.
to that fight.
I want something that people actually go, oh my god!
I
like
want mine to
that.
be like comically large. Like,
literally a comic book penis.
yeah,
you want people to go, ugh.
No, I want them to go. "Oh."
yeah, like a blimp. I want it to be like a blimp.
I don't know. Like if it's comically large, people just I think people go, ugh.
Like a big
Like, I-
inflatable hammer. Like
I want
huge.
it so big. I can't make that joke.
It looks like an illness. That's not what you want. You want to look like you've had a bee sting you.
Yeah. And I've had an allergic
the
reaction
dick.
on my dick that's made it bigger. Hey, I read this thing about a guy, 45 years old, okay? At 45 years old, this guy decides that the power move of the day for him is to inject Vaseline into his dick to make it bigger.
Wait.
And he gets gangrene in his
Wasn't
dick.
Isn't it silicon? I thought that there's like a community of people that
That was
inject
like
silicon.
petroleum jelly, or maybe it was silicon. Well,
Yeah.
maybe it was
Well,
silicon.
that
but
guy died. Like he has the biggest cock and balls because he's been pumping silicone into them.
Oh,
When he
God.
sits down, it looks like there's a dog hiding in his crotch. Like he has to have special trousers made that have an enormous crotch because. I mean, he whipped it out on camera, and his dick, I'm not kidding, it was literally like, you have to get two hands under it to lift it up.
Oy.
It's vaguely the same shape as a penis. His testicles are enormous. And I just think,
Right.
that's not real. That's
Gotta like,
cheating.
have a wheelbarrow to like push his balls
He
around.
was like Buster Gonads. Do you remember him from Viz?
Do not seriously, guys. Like, don't fuck around with your
Yeah,
dick.
don't
you
fucking
know?
inject
never
stuff into
inject
that. What are you
anything
doing?
into your.
Don't use. I mean,
I
those-
would say I'd say body, but if you really feel like you need to, leave your dick alone. It's
Yeah,
not meant
please.
for having things injected into it. Okay, just
Things
Don't do
inject
it.
out of it.
Maybe we don't need this disclaimer, but I feel like it's there anyway. Like,
Well,
don't use those penis pumps.
man. When
They-
a
it's
45-year-old
not gonna-
man gets gangrene in his dick from injecting stuff into it, I think that's the point at which we do have to have the discussion. I mean, come on,
Right. That's the target audience.
You know
of this,
what?
This
It's
podcast.
high time we took issue with these penis injectors. Everybody else is getting into the neck one way or the other. Why can't we call these nerds out?
They're getting it in the dick.
Stop fucking the pavement. Stop fucking bicycles. Stop
Yeah.
injecting stuff in your dick.
You know
We've
what?
been here before. We've covered a bunch of these, but this is a fresh
If
one.
you're gonna fuck a pavement or a bicycle, more power to you, I guess. Don't
You're not
let me
harming anything but your
don't
dick.
let me catch you doing it because I, would be upset. But at the same time, as long as you're not injecting stuff into your cock, it's fine. Honestly, and you're not like harming other people or whatever. Like, it's fine. Just carry on. I don't care.
Also, if you're working with something which is less than the average, okay, let's just say, I'm not talking from experience, obviously. I have a massive cock.
Yeah.
But if you're working with something...
Wheelbarrow Brindley.
It's a curse and a blessing.
Big swinging. Anyway, if you're working with something that's less than the average, you got to up your tongue game. Got to work on other projects.
Yeah.
There's other.
Wow. I don't think injecting petroleum jelly into your tongue is any better. Actually, I think.
I see. I feel like that's a lazy shortcut, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just educate yourself.
Well, I'm too squeamish to do it to my dick, but my tongue, on the other hand, I can inject
I think you can.
shit into that all day
You could learn
long.
a lot. You could teach yourself.
Isn't mouth health so important? I don't know if you guys are like me, but every once in a while, I'll get like these big
Mouth help.
Yeah, I'll get these big ulcers in my mouth, and
God.
at any other time,
Why?
I don't
say
even
that.
think about mouth health at all. I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
I thought you said mouth
my
help.
mouth just works.
Mouse
I
health.
thought you were saying mouth help as a euphemism for a blowjob.
No, mouth health. Well, I mean, it's important.
that.
It's important to have a
I like
healthy
that.
Not
mouth.
like cleaning your teeth and flossing and stuff.
If that's your
I thought
your
you said,
trade of
isn't
choice.
mouth help so important?
Mouth help.
Well,
no,
I mean, it's not essential,
health.
but I would consider it fairly important.
Yeah, no, it's like a Dr. Seuss rhyme. And then in the health mouth, it's like hard to say words all strung together into harder to say sentences, right?
No, you're completely right. As soon as you get a toothache, you're
Yeah.
like, fuck.
So
I
now
really
I've
shouldn't
got,
have
like-
been avoiding flossing.
I have this huge ulcer on my lip, like inside my lip.
Oh, I hate ulcers, man. It's so annoying.
And I'm just thinking to myself, Christ, like I don't remember what it was like to not have one in my mouth. An ulcer, I should say. Sorry.
Right.
And it's so painful. I can't really eat.
You know what you got to do? Here's a really simple home solution.
I mean, nuts!
Bonjela or whatever.
This has always worked for me. No, you don't do that.
No, there's like an igloo thing. You can make a dome over them now.
No. Listen. This is super easy. You can do it right now.
Have you tried injecting Vaseline into it?
Wow.
Just making it bigger.
Wow.
You get the biggest cock you can find,
Right.
and you rub it all over the affected area.
Right. So my own is what you're
Or
saying.
you could do what I do and get some salt, dissolve it in water,
Nah.
make it pretty salty, and then just
You have to hate yourself to do that.
you swill that
hurts
around
so
in your
bad.
mouth. You swill that around in your mouth, spit it out,
I don't think
repeat,
it works.
and do that, and then you wait a couple of hours, do it again. It works for me every time.
My wife got this like mouthwash when she had her wisdom teeth taken out. It's like this industrial strength mouthwash, kills like every form of bacteria,
like Corsadil or whatever that shit
Yeah,
is.
something like that. So I tried some of that, but holy crap, it just leaves your it just leaves your mouth feeling all weird, right? Like,
when you
I
brush
think
your
it kills
teeth
everything.
with
You're
a really
right.
minty toothpaste and your mouth is like on fire afterwards.
Yeah.
I hate
You know, you ever wash
you're
your
right.
dick and balls with like a minty shower gel and it
Oh,
numbs
man.
the whole area as well?
like that tea tree shit.
Oh,
Get that on your balls.
It's shocking.
That's
it's like
shocking,
having a shit, like a spicy shit, and you're like, you didn't expect it.
Man,
It's horrible.
having said that though, just as you said that, I got this like perfect visual and like I felt this sensation. What if you put like some of that minty shampoo or body wash onto some toilet paper and wiped your ass with it? Like that would be
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
Right? It
I
would
can feel
soothe
that
a really
right now.
spicy hot shit.
Let me run the numbers on that. Yeah, it's gonna sting.
Yeah, but in a good way though, a soothing sting, right?
I think there's no such thing as a soothing sting.
After you've taken like just a like you've dropped the hottest, spiciest, greasiest deuce of your life, and your asshole is on fire. That's
I
gonna
hate
feel
that.
pretty good, I think.
No,
After.
it's horrible. I think,
that.
oh my god, my butt hurts.
No, but you need to. No, but the calming. He's talking about applying like a balm, a soothing,
Yeah, like a
I
soothing
don't
balm.
think adding stinging stuff to.
asshole bomb.
Yeah. Oh, is butt on
Dude.
fire? Add some fire.
It's a different kind of fire.
Yeah, fight fire with fire. That's what they
It's like
say.
magic.
Right?
It's like so. It was on magical blue fire, and now it's on magical red fire as well.
It's a
like,
fell
oh, no.
fire. It's a green
2 dots.
fire.
All right, lads. I've got a
Fell
story
fire.
for you. This is
Let me just-
such a.
Okay.
Go on.
Let me just, before you go drop the baller story of the century,
All right.
let me just finish off. That's that. I've had those mouthwashes before that do make everything go weird in your mouth and make it taste like different for like a day.
It feels like
and it's like it was like, you know, when you have those weird. Have you ever had that stupid fruit that makes everything taste like sour things taste sweet?
Oh,
those,
yeah.
Those weird fruits,
Yeah.
and then you eat a lemon, and it tastes all sweet, and you're like, oh, that makes me slightly terrified that it won't go back. You know,
I know what you mean. I feel like after I've had that, the inside of my mouth feels like a weird sterile killing room, like the Dexter is made with like plastic and fucking
and the
bright
teeth
lights
are like
and
the
shit.
people standing around the tongue, which
There's
is
just there's nothing going on in there. Like all life inside my mouth has been destroyed by this whatever magical potion.
They're gravestones. Yeah, that's what they
jeez.
are. Your teeth. Oh God. Anyway,
Okay.
sorry. P-Flex.
So this goes back to when I was in China. And
China.
In China.
China, very topical.
I received
this
a
week,
phone
isn't it,
call.
China.
I received a phone call, and it was a wrong number. But the guy said, "Hi, is that Ted?" And I said, "Yeah, this is Ted." He goes, "It doesn't sound like Ted." I said, "Well, I can assure you, I am Ted." And he said, "I don't think you're the Ted I'm looking for." And I said, "All right, well, which Ted were you hoping to find?" And we had a laugh about it. He was an English guy, and he just called the wrong number, but he also wanted a Ted. So it was the wrong number looking for someone with the same name as me. And I thought, what a weird coincidence. I get back to the UK, and this guy messages me, and he says, "Hey, not Ted, it's me, Joe. That guy who called you that one time where you were in China. I didn't want to creep you out by calling again, but my friend, other Ted, brought something up after I told him about the number mishap. A YouTuber called Pyrion mentioned on a podcast that he was in China, and he showed me a wiki page, and his name was indeed Ted. I thought you sounded similar to the guy on the podcast, and other Ted has been asking me to call you again or give out your number." Please don't do that. I'm not
Give
doing
out
that.
your number.
I know, I'm not doing that, obviously, but I found the podcast fun, brackets Triforce, and have been subscribed, and each episode that goes up, the more I think about it. So can I get that cleared up? Are you actually Pyrion Flax? And I said, yes. And he says, "Holy shit, I can't actually believe this. I was pushed over the edge when you mentioned Bournemouth School. And I started out my teaching career at Bournemouth School for Girls, which is just across the road from Bournemouth School. And he's now teaching in Poole." So what gets me is this guy who misdialed me while I'm in China looking for someone with the same name is also from the same town I grew up in and has taught at the same school. I actually took my A-level. We were talking last week about Ben Richardson and his girlfriend Anna Kendrick. Bournemouth School for Girls is where we took theatre studies. So this guy used to teach at the school where I was at school with Ben. So because we did one of our A-levels there and the rest of them at the boys' school. What a weird coincidence that
That's
the guy
weird.
not only calls looking for someone with the same name, but he's from Bournemouth and he's a teacher at the school I went to. It's bonkers.
That's actually.
You know, it'd be even weirder if it turned out in the end that you two had sex
That would be weird.
with each other. That would.
Oh, that
I
one
would
time.
ice the
Are
cake.
you that guy? I recognise the husky voice through the hole in the wall in the toilet in the park. The public toilets. Do you remember?
Implying that I wouldn't be able to just pull a bloke without cottaging. Let me tell you something. If I wanted to, I could go and have gay sex, no problemo. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I bet you could, yeah.
Well,
They
you
like
know,
bold daddy types, you know what I'm saying? Some of them.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it's probably like a whole fetish area, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I could be someone's fetish.
Yeah.
You
They're
never know.
called, like egg dads or something. I don't know. Like there's some name for
You
it.
could make
Egg
you could
daddies.
have a secret society, North American Egg Love Men Association or something like that. You could be like the
daddies.
Nembla.
Like NAMBLA. Are you telling me we could be like the North American Pedophile Association? That's what my organization is going to be called. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So that's
North American Bald Love
First meeting of
Association.
this new organization. Yeah. We need to think of a name. Well, what will we base our name on? How about those pedos? That's a good start. Let's base our organization on a pedophile organization.
What a name, though. North American Men Boy Love Association. I mean, come on.
Unbelievable.
Who comes up with that? That's crazy.
Pedophiles, apparently. I mean,
Yeah, I guess so. Fuck me.
They probably had a big round table discussion about it.
yeah, that's what I was
and,
saying.
you
That's
know.
a sat around.
Like the Knights of the... Sir Arthur, what do you vote? Call this association. Well, Sir Robin, I've been thinking about it at length. Fuck's sake.
Hail, sire. What do we all love? Boys, exactly. What are we
all?
We are men. And where do we live? North America. And how about...
And how much do we care about them? We love them.
Fuck's
It's
sake.
just that easy.
Oh, Oh, for fuck's
So the
sake.
Knights of the North American Man Who Love Boys.
Association.
Jesus Christ. I think that's a bit of a
Fuck's
coincidence,
sake.
isn't it? Like P-Flex. But I mean, the thing is, the world is. Everyone says, "Oh, it's a small world, isn't it?" You know, when they meet someone like in a coincidental way. It's like, "Oh, I didn't know you'd be here."
On Coronation
you know,
Street, apparently. That's what that sounded like.
when it feels like that sort of thing that is almost like just accepted, but actually, like the chances of something like that are very. Then again, like numbers that they give out are obviously. I'm just trying to unpick the coincidence.
No,
okay?
I am too.
So
I was thinking, did I get my phone in Bournemouth and I've had that number all this time? And is there like almost like an area code thing so that if I get my phone in London, it's got this code, and if I get it in Bournemouth, it's got that code, like at the start? And was it just, I mean, are we similar age? So we got phones at a similar kind of time, and that was the kind of number at that point. Yeah, it is a bit weird. I mean, the coincidence of him calling for a TED I thought was funny enough.
That's
but then
pretty
the
good.
extra coincidences on top are also just weird. It just added up to too many coincidences.
But I think if he'd said Edward, that would have been.
Well, if he's a
maybe
Ted,
enough
he's
as
an Edward.
well.
I guarantee you, this guy's an Edward.
Yeah, but if he'd called up asking for an Edward, you would have been like, "Oh, I'm Edward as well, though." You know, or are you Ed? You're an Ed, yeah, right? You're not a Theodore.
I'm an
or
Edward.
whatever.
I'm an
Yeah.
Edward. I don't like to go by Ed or Eddie.
No, but if he'd rung up asking for an Ed, would that have been the same level of coincidence?
What's Ned short for?
Nedward.
Nedward.
Ned?
Yeah. It's a weird one, eh? Ned.
I don't know what Ned. Let's Google Ned.
Ned.
I'm gonna get pictures of Ned Flanders. Here.
Honestly, Flax, if this happened to me, I'm not saying that. Maybe it is just like an amazing series of coincidences or whatever. But if that was me, I'd be like, this is a setup. I've been hacked or something.
I see. No, my mates all said this sounds like a setup or a con, and I'm thinking,
well,
what are they
but then
going to con
again,
out of
like-
me?
Yeah, well, that's.
I'm just wondering how easy it is to get a coincidence too. Like how easy is it to speak to someone and find something you have in common?
Maybe
with them,
you've fallen for the con by repeating the story on this illustrious podcast. Maybe that was the goal of the con.
Maybe. Congrats.
It is unusual that his friend Ted also knew about Triforce, though.
Yeah,
that's kind of unusual.
That's one coincidence too far.
You think it's
That
a
is
think it's a
maybe.
setup?
I
You think
think
they've set it up to get
I think
on the
we've
podcast?
fallen right into their trap
Yeah.
by talking about
Well,
it.
it's well
The
played.
conspiracy theory.
So Ned is an English given name and variant of Ed, sometimes short for Benedict, Edward, Edmund, Edgar, or Edwin.
Edwin.
Benedict.
Benedict.
I love it when there's a name that doesn't sound anything like. Surely Benedict would be shortened to Ben.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
how
Dick.
would that go?
Well,
the
English like to shorten Jeremy and Gary to Jez and Gaz, don't they? Which doesn't make sense either. I don't find.
I mean, I think they used.
I've never
to.
understood that one.
I think they're both pretty awful.
Jez.
names, aren't they?
I mean, Jez.
It sounds like a kind of
Sounds like jizz.
Sounds like a sort of a slightly overweight guy in a suit on the tube in London who's like drunk.
Jizz
going
and
home.
gas.
All right, Jez.
Yeah.
Do you want to get some chips? Yeah, you're all right. Okay. It's like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what it does sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get like how do you add an AZ or an EZ? Like is it kind of like a offshoot of like Cockney rhyming
'cause
slang
I
or
think
something like that?
yeah sounds bad, or ga or g. Like,
Gaza.
they want to short Jeremy and Gary, but they can't be asked to go ga. Come on,
Or
ga.
Gerald. We had a Jez, Gerald, who was GEZ. Jez. That was a
God.
thing as well.
Gez.
Gez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
would it be
that doesn't
Gez or
work. That's
Jez?
That's just
a-
shoehorning that
that's-
in. That's not cool.
That's an interesting one. Jez or Gez.
So I watched,
in that case.
So I watched the movie. I watched Joker
Right.
yesterday.
How is
no
it?
spoilers.
No spoilers, but he becomes a supervillain.
Well, yeah, he does, doesn't he, in the old Batman? So it's sort of R-rated. So, you know, swearing and like, you know, fairly felt like it was quite dark. You know, I it's not the best movie in the world, but it's good enough. So like a solid 4 out of 5 stars from old Lewis. And I'm a fan of Batman in general and the universe and Gotham and the world and stuff. And it's always pretty shitty, you know, Gotham City.
I used to think I was, but I'm starting to realize now that I'm not. I just fucking don't really like superheroes or anything to do with them at all. Like, I just like I think I'm tapped out on superheroes.
Have you watched The Boys?
Yeah, I liked the first episode of it, and I keep meaning to get back around to watching the rest of it.
It's good. Anyway,
It's
Joker's
an interesting twist on the superhero thing. You know, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it as spoilers.
Did you
There's
enjoy
other
it?
people who are better than this, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, I thought because of the weather, right? Because of like because it was a bit rainy and a bit miserable. It was kind of like that in Gotham, you know, like always.
Right.
You know, you never go to Gotham City and it's like a fucking lovely, sunshiny, bright day outside with everyone having a good time.
No.
You know, mostly there's some shit going down. Someone's nicking something or stabbing someone or raping someone in a fucking alleyway or something's going on, you know, or someone's pushing someone or, you know, being mean to someone. It's like dirty shit New York City, I guess, isn't it? Gotham.
Well, it's modeled after like 70s New York City, I think, isn't it? Which was probably a lot
I think it
like
does
that.
feel like that with like a lot of wild
70s and early 80s.
The 70s and 80s was a pretty rough time in New York.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think that's what it's, and also like I think just even the people are like just a bit wary of other people. Like London, you know, when you go to London, sometimes people don't really have time for you. They've got to be somewhere now, or else they're gonna be yelled at by an asshole
or Gez.
Yeah,
or
Jez is gonna fucking tell them to, and then. But otherwise, it's besuited a-holes, either non-besuited a-holes or besuited a-holes in London. And it felt a little bit like that in Gotham. And I don't know, like in a way, like it got me into the vibe a bit more because it felt like, you know, a mirror. Like I stepped into the same weather. It wasn't like I'd been transported to a different world. But also, it was kind of just not so. It was just good. I liked it a lot. It left me a little bit kind of, because the thing about Joker is, and this isn't a spoiler, is it's clearly not a typical Hollywood feel-good superhero movie.
Right.
Okay, where like, you know, the good guy wins or whatever. You know, it's a story about a supervillain's origin kind of thing.
Right.
And as a result, you know, there's the victory moment kind of thing. And there's a couple of great moments where you really end up like, I don't want to say rooting for him, but like sometimes you're like fucking like you feel his side and it kind of, I don't know, like basically because he has this. That's the other thing that you've seen a lot of is him laughing, right? Just kind of very deadly laughing. Like, and then laughing is this thing where we do it so socially. Okay, you have to. Laughing is like this thing you do with other people around to show that you're comfortable with them, and you have to laugh at the right time. It's like very important to laugh at the right time, and throughout all of Joker, like laughter is used as this kind of madness thing, like where he won't laugh at the right time, or he'll laugh so weirdly and differently every time, or laugh deliberately, or like kind of, you know, it's used so kind of weirdly. And I came out and I was just chatting with the people I watched the movie, which was like a bunch of the guys who've been down lately, and I laughed and I stopped myself laughing and I was like, oh my god, I like my laughter in my ears sounded like weird to me.
Right. So you felt maybe at that point that you were the Joker, or turning into the Joker somehow.
I've got on a weird monologue here, but
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like hearing your inner monologue sometimes come out.
Very unfiltered. I have a lot of respect for that.
But you know how sometimes you watch a movie and you're into it, and it's like a horror movie, and you watch it in the lounge or whatever, and then you go to bed and you're like, you turn all the lights off and you're like, oh, and you're a bit spooked for no reason, about like you're just on edge.
Man,
You're
I never get that. And you know why? Because when I go to bed, it's business time. And I don't mean I want to have sex when I go to bed. I mean, when my head hits the pillow, I'm in a coma. Like, I'm so tired, I have to be in that bed at that precise moment.
What time do you go to bed?
Or else, like, 2 a.m.
Yeah. See, that's what I do when I don't have to get up. But at the moment, I have to go. I know, like, I'm not tired, but I know I have to go to bed because I've got to get up at like 7:30.
See, I still go to bed at
like
2 a.m.
I much prefer going to bed when I'm tired. Otherwise, my brain starts going, and that's when I get in trouble. The rest of the day, I plug my brain with games I'm playing, videos I'm watching, TV shows, things I'm getting on with, and then...
Are you saying that you don't allow your brain to think?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
breathe?
Like, generally speaking, during the day, I don't do a lot of just sitting and thinking. And I know there's some... What do they call it? They call it mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
They call it mindfulness.
Mindfulness,
where you just sit and fucking just chill and just let your brain process some stuff. Because otherwise you don't. I went to sleep last night. I'm playing a game called Panzer Corps at the moment, which is like a hex-based World War II strategy game.
Right.
It's very
Okay.
very nerdy. It's old. It's not new. Based on there's always been these hex-based games, And it's turn based. You move your units around and blast the whoever you blast in, and you got air and sea and all that crap. So I go to sleep last night, and I close my eyes, and all I can see is hexes and numbers.
Right.
That's it. And then conversations start coming back to me, flashes of TV shows I've watched, and it's just voices going over and over. Like I can't switch my brain off, which is a big problem that people have. When it's finally liberated, your brain is like, wait a minute, you flooded me with so much stuff. I need time to process this. I think consuming that much media, whether it be games or TV or YouTube or the radio or anything, you've got to give some time to think. And I think allowing ourselves to be bombarded. I mean, we people say we've been bombarded these days. You're the ones watching it, me included. You don't have to be bombarded. You could switch that shit off, go and sit in an empty room. People aren't knocking on the door with a fucking megaphone, shouting at you. You can just chill.
Do you think that you could also, just as a counterpoint here, could you also potentially bombard yourself with mindfulness? Like, there's got to be a balance, right?
Yeah,
right.
You could try to be too mindful.
You don't want to be sitting there and like bombarding yourself with too much mindfulness, because it could go the other way. So somewhere in the middle there.
It works out for those monks, right? Those guys that go off to the Buddhist monasteries and stuff. They seem to be doing all right.
Yeah,
they just meditate for like 12 hours a day. Are they
they're
not
just
chill?
like zombies, though. You know?
Yeah, but they're just so chill.
It's not my journey, but I mean,
Look, if you show me one thing that those Buddhist monks have ever created, like what if they've ever invented with that thinking, huh? What have those orange robed assholes ever done for us?
man, if they're listening,
Sitting on
if
their
you guys are
mountain,
listening to this
cross-legged,
right now,
saying,
he's on his
like,
own. He speaks for himself.
saying like what? Come on. Like, not that I care, really, what they do. And I'm a fan. I like the idea of going up to a mountain. I was reading today about this, there's this, like, Chinese Buddhist site, which is this tiny, like, fucking, like, finger of rock sticking out into the sky.
Right.
And they've built, like, a little temple right on the fucking tip of it, like on the fingertip of this rock, and it's like the tiniest thing fucking up in the sky basically, and it's like it's above the clouds, and it's madness. It looks terrifying to get up there in the first place, and then even like doing a bit of chanting up there, must be great, but also weird. You probably have to eat, like, you have to probably lug up a load of pot noodles up there. You're not growing any fresh food, are you? Kind of on the top of that fucking
Pot
thing.
Noodles.
Just anyway.
That's your go-to food you would take to the
Because
top
they're
of a
Asian.
mountain.
Because they're Asian, right?
Yeah, they have pot noodles.
Good one.
I don't know if they have. Do they have pot noodles in Asia?
Yeah,
Maybe they have,
yeah.
like-
I mean, they're not pot noodles, but there's like when I've been to the supermarket in China, there's fucking millions of different brands and varieties of essentially pot noodles, but good. Like, they're really good. The flavor's much better.
So this morning I walk into my garage as normal, open the door, step in, say hi to Terry, look in Terry's cage. He's just on his back. Like, he flipped over. I don't know how long he was there for, but he was pretty pissed off about it. Because when I went to pick him up and put him normal, he hissed really loud at me as well. So
he was chilling and you ruined his meditation. That's how turtles get mindful.
I guess so. He was really angry about the whole thing. But I realized when he was on his back how big he's gotten. Like, he's grown a lot. He's huge. And like, when you see him from underneath, you realize like how, like, because when you see them from the top, their shells like curve and they don't seem so big, sort of thing, but they're flat underneath. So you get, they look wider and stuff. It's really weird.
Wow.
I've seen them in a whole new
sort
light.
of like in a compromising position. Do you think you were like a predator coming to like?
Yeah, it's
eat
like
him
a
or
dad
something?
walking in on his son, like, just squeezing his hog.
Playing
Yeah.
Minecraft. Yeah.
You do wonder that they must have ways of getting back
Right.
on their front.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they do, though. I think they either wait for something to nudge them over or they get eaten by a predator, because I don't see how he could right himself. Like, he was really stuck. It was like he wasn't moving at first either. So I was like, Terry, you're dead? And then all of a sudden, when he heard me, his arms and legs started flailing, and I was like, all right, okay.
That's what you want to hear, isn't
Yeah.
it? When you come into the room.
Hey,
of,
buddy,
like,
you
someone.
dead?
You're dead.
You dead?
God, he is.
No.
Oh, no.
So luckily he's not dead, but yeah, it was a weird one. I guess I think he tried to climb up some stones and then probably just fell backwards or something. I don't know. It's really weird. He's flipped over before. There's been There's been cases of them flipping over before. Luckily, there's always somebody around because if they're underneath their basking light, it can like cook them. You know, like they're not meant to like receive light on the bottom. It's just like the top.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh God! You get a delicious Terry burger one morning.
Yeah, I mean, imagine yourself, Lewis. You're laying in a tanning booth and you accidentally fall asleep, but you're doing
accidentally flip over.
But you're doing like the butt cannon at this. You know, like when your knees are up and your ass is sticking up in the air. That's how you've fallen asleep. You can imagine it would dry you out big time, right? Potentially cause some damage.
Oh right, yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
Yeah.
I'd really need some Vaseline injections after that.
A place where regularly the light does not shine. All of a sudden, there's too much light going in there.
Well, I mean, surely what you do is you just build an environment for him where if he does flip over, he just falls off it, right?
I think the main thing is as long as the ground isn't too flat.
Yeah.
Apparently, things like a hardwood floor, like if you think about a tortoise in a house, this is not a natural environment. Out there, the ground is never perfectly flat.
No.
There'd be something to
Curse
grab
this
onto,
flat
a bit
Earth.
of grass or whatever.
If only the Earth was round, then
Ask
we wouldn't
Terry,
have this
man.
problem.
Tortoises know Earth equals flat. Terry's like, this Earth is too flat.
Yeah, he knows.
So I was watching Maze Runner.
Maze Runner.
Have you seen that movie?
Jesus Christ!
No.
It's like a teenage Hunger Games.
It was on
It's like
Channel
a
4.
Even younger.
It was on
Games.
Film 4.
Younger Games.
It's definitely more. It's definitely more in that vein, Hunger Games, than anything else, right? This guy wakes up in a metal box going up in a lift. The door's open at the top, and there's a bunch of guys already there, and they're like, "Welcome to the glade." And then they explain that they're stuck in this glade at the center of a maze, and food comes up, and of course everything goes tits up, and they have to escape and all the rest of it. Now, my kids were watching this movie. It may be a little too grown up for my 7-year-old. She was a little scared of any kind of peril. Like there's a dude running away from something at one point, terrified, right? But what made me laugh was the absolute nailed on cliches that you get in these movies. Okay, let me tell you. Right, so here's an example of a cliche. You will know exactly how this goes the moment I start describing it to you. But to them, it's like fresh material because they're young, so they've never seen this before.
Oh yeah.
What's that? Oh, I made it to give back to my parents. Here, I want you to give it to them when you get out. And the guy takes it, says, "Listen to me, come here." Gives it back to him. You're going to give it to them yourself. You're going to get out of this.
Yeah, that old one, yeah.
That is like the oldest. And what do you think happened to the guy who he told was going to give it to his parents himself?
He died. He tobogganed into a snowblower.
Right, he died, right?
He fell off a cliff.
It happens in
A
everything.
bald man
Here's
wrenched
a
his heart
Leroy
out of his body on a broken bridge.
So the guy's got if you have the thing and someone gives it to you and says, "Give this to my parents," you're going to give it to them yourself, man. Get out of here. That person's going to die. If the hero is the one saying, "You're going to make it out of here yourself," he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But if he gives it to another guy and says, "I want you to give this letter to my parents. I don't think I can make it out," you're going to give it to them yourself. They're both going to die. Whoever has the letter's going to die. I think that it happens in Saving Private Ryan. This letter gets everybody killed. This is such a cliche, but my kids had no idea. So to them, it was like, wow, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they were really worried. Oh my God, he's going to die. I was like, he's the hero. This is the guy on the poster. He's not going to die. And they sort of looked at me like, huh? Like they were betrayed by this idea. And I'm thinking maybe this generation is ready.
Yeah.
But the guy on the poster dies in scene 1. That would put the wind up everybody. They get Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie, 5 minutes in, he's dead. He doesn't appear in the rest of the film. People are like, didn't see that coming. That's the only real twist left. That the guy you pay $30 million to be in the movie dies in the first 5 minutes. Be brave, filmmakers. I think we can do it.
Plot armor is a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to address in ways that don't suck. And I hate to say it, Game of Thrones was very good before seasons whatever at doing that.
Yeah,
It's very good at surprise character death.
Yeah.
Of people liked and gave a shit about.
The Other Guys was like that too. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, wait. I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm thinking of The Nice Guys. Also in what is it called? Deep something.
Impact.
It's a movie with a shark.
Deep Rumbling.
Deep rumblings.
Deep
Deepwater Horizon.
Deepwater Horizon. Samuel L. Jackson dies
Deep
in that
throat.
sort of halfway through the movie. No one sees that coming. He's going, we've got to try to come together, get out of here. And then the shark just comes out of this pool, goes, rawr, and eats him and fucks off, right? It was like, whoa, like a big moment. They need to do that more. Kill off the characters in the movies. Come on.
Deep.
Well,
The story of an Indian scuba diver who's afraid of sharks.
you know, I think that I think that's something which Hollywood is bound by, though. In some ways, have you seen the new Once Upon a Night, one night in Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah,
Not yet.
It's great, but also it does address that slightly because, you know, there's this character in it, it's not a spoiler, who talks about how, you know, you don't want to be perceived, like get like typecast in Hollywood, or you don't want your characters to be shown as being weak or beat up, or you know, because it's a slippery slope into not being a hero anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And
Before you
so
know it, you're
people-
Sean Bean. You die in everything.
So if you want to get like be a big name, you know, and you feel like you have some control, or like if you are a big name, so if you want to get a big name in your movie, they're going to come with stupid fucking rules about what they can and can't do in the script, and the script has to be adjusted to fit them, you know.
Interesting.
And I'm sure even in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they had said, well, you know, I'm going to have equal screen time, or, you know, I mean, something like that, you know.
I don't know. I feel like those guys, if they get together with somebody like Tarantino, there's not much of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
I
and I
think
feel
if they were
exactly-
making
actually,
a shit movie, then yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
I think if it was
but,
like a
yeah.
different.
I wouldn't be surprised if that conversation hadn't happened, though. Like, do you know what I mean?
could've,
I feel like they were discussing it, and then Tarantino was like, "This is a movie about that."
I mean, the thing is that it's not those guys having those conversations either. It's their managers, right?
Oh,
People who make a big deal about this stuff.
Yeah, but they
to
know.
other people who pander to it to justify getting paid and stuff like that, right?
Oh, they're all in
I
on
think
it
people,
together, man.
yeah, you're right. That they've got advisors and
Yeah.
stuff, and they'll be like,
Don't
yeah,
get me
you know,
wrong. There is an element of ego for sure behind the scenes
Yeah.
where Leonardo DiCaprio's probably like, "You that bucktooth bastard. Make sure I get as much screen time as him, Billy. When you go in, bargain hard, Billy." Like, there's definitely an
Or they
element
subtly
of that.
do it. They
Yeah.
subtly do it by just saying, "Man, you know that fucking. I can't believe he got more screen time than me.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I had to be doing X while this guy
Yeah.
was doing Y. Oh my
But there's
god!"
a
They didn't
lot
say
of
it outright.
There's a lot of pumping up and ruffling of feathers and all that kind of stuff in the background, right? For
you
sure.
gotta ruffle feathers.
You got to ruffle.
I think like the interesting something that I thought about this week was that, you know, these guys like Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, they don't have to do these movies. Clearly, they really don't. Like, they can just retire quite happily and just do whatever the fuck they want to do.
If they
But I
were in
think-
it for nothing but money, I agree.
yeah. But also, I don't think they are in it for when they've got that much money. I don't think it matters anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they still
look at Johnny
expect
Depp,
to
man.
be.
It always matters.
Maybe, but I think that they do genuinely enjoy being the center of attention,
Yeah,
being
of
on a
course.
movie,
That's
being
why
a big
they're
guy,
actors.
being in charge of something.
Yeah, that's
Like I think it's the thing that they wouldn't do if they didn't actually want to do it. And I also think they're so rich that they can basically just turn down anything they don't want to. They're not actually genuinely interested in themselves. You know, I don't think very many of them are like, yeah, go, you should do this. You know, you should do this. It'll be good for your career or whatever. You know, they've made
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know,
It must be really gratifying to be at that position where, first of all, think how many jobs you get to turn down. Like, you can just say, no, I'm sorry, I'm passing on this, not interested. You must get lots of offers that are really interesting. Be like, yeah, this is really interesting, but I just don't think it's right for me. Like, you're in a position where you can actually just turn down
pick
work
and choose stuff
that you don't fancy, rather than just saying, I'll do whatever.
But then the opportunities that would open up to you would be immense, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
and you can see that they probably sort of get enthralled by, you know, certain scripts or certain directors or whatever.
I mean, sometimes you see like a star's made a movie.
Yeah.
They make a movie and you think, what the fuck are they doing in this? It's like a pet project or like a
Yeah,
promise.
yeah,
They
it's
obviously
like-
said to someone, I'll definitely do your
Something
movie.
that
No
they were
problem.
just interested in trying out that they've done or whatever. I like when that kind of stuff happens as well, because it's just a little bit sort of off the grid sometimes. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
I like a good cameo.
Yeah.
You know, a big deal turns up in a movie for 2 minutes. You think,
Yeah.
wow, I don't know why it seems cool. It kind of throws shade on everyone else in the movie, but it is also, it's like in the credits, the and.
I really don't. I actually
so-and-so.
really don't like that. I think a serious movie shouldn't have those kind of jokey cameos from big budget actors.
But
you
they
know,
don't
but-
always have to be jokey cameos, though. I think sometimes they can be very subtly done, and it's
But
fine.
sometimes, like, it pulls me out of the movie.
It does
Like,
take you out because you go, oh, it's so and so. like that's all you end up saying, right?
Yeah.
You don't look at
I
them as a
never had a
character.
problem with Stan Lee in like kind of that, but I think if it was in something serious, like like Leonardo DiCaprio, he's done shitloads of movies, like from fucking Inception to like Shutter Island, and like he's worked with like everyone.
The
Fucking
Island of Dr. Monroe,
do you know what I
and
mean?
all those ones too.
And and I think in any like in Shutter Island or like Inception, it would be weird if like I don't know if like some super famous actor just had a 10-second sort of jokey cameo. I suppose it does happen. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I think often it is crowbarred in, but sometimes it's done
done, but sometimes it's done in a shitty way, but other times I can't think of any examples, but I'm sure I've seen times where it's been done non-shitty and it's been fine, sort of thing, or I've liked it.
What was I looking at? Oh, I know what I watched. Fucking Stephen King had a cameo in It Chapter 2,
right?
And it felt very like fucking unnecessary because I watched the movie in the theater, and before the movie was on, there was a little sort of awkward bit with Stephen King where it would look like he looked like he'd been wheeled out and asked these awkward questions.
Yeah. And
he sort of wasn't really very charismatic about it. Unfortunately, it hadn't been edited very well, or they hadn't asked him the right questions or whatever. And so I sort of I'd already had like Stephen King in my mind, and then I'm watching this movie, and it gets to this sort of shop scene, and Stephen King's this sort of creepy shop owner. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this scene? And it went on for far too long. And it was sort of unnecessary, and it felt like it didn't add anything to the plot. And I was just sort of waiting for it. It felt like an ad break in the like middle of the movie for like a minute for just this random advert, or to like, I don't know, like just like, I don't know, like wank off Stephen King a bit. I felt like it was unnecessary. And
He's
I
a
didn't
terrible
like
actor as well.
Yeah.
Terrible.
He's a writer. He writes like a fucking
So
he's
just say that.
prolific.
Just say
horror
Oh
writer.
God, so many of his books are
But
terrible.
is that because they've been putting Stan Lee in everything that now Stephen King has to go and have cameo?
No,
in all of his
he's been in a
movies?
bunch
Like,
of his
He
films.
has
dude.
been, yeah. He's always made like little
I haven't
appearances
seen him
and stuff.
before.
I always found The Simpsons pretty funny with the crowbar cameo kind of stuff, like they'll go to like Bart and Lisa's open school fair or something like that, and one of them will turn around and, hey Dad, look, it's lightweight champion Reggie Jackson. Hi kids. And like, it's this guy that looks just like him, I guess, in a Simpson-y way, and that's his only part in the whole show. In the 20-minute show is just one line, and he's just like chucked into it for whatever reason.
I think they used to do it really funnily, but
They
then
did, yeah.
they started doing it really bad.
Yeah, I haven't watched it
he's
recently.
been
But
he's cameoed in hundreds of his movies.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, he always
But I don't
pops
think
up.
I've seen any of them actually.
Most of them are
I haven't
dreadful.
seen Kingdom Hospital, Rose Red, Storm of the Century, Thinner.
Hey, you know his best
The
one?
Langoliers.
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 What about
Have I seen
I thought
Stand?
Misery was a good one. I liked Misery.
Misery's really good. That's probably his best book as well,
I
honestly.
don't think he has a cameo in that.
No, there's hardly any characters.
There's no
not very many
opportunity for it.
characters.
There's like 2 characters in it.
It'd be weird if like he was like a mailman or something. Hey, I got a package for you. It's
Thank
the new
you.
book.
Thank you. Door closes, end of scene. Like the what? Like
Yeah.
fucking shoehorned him in there.
Cujo. He did Pet Cemetery as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember
Stephen
that
King.
because it was deliberately spelled wrong.
Cujo.
And it
Yeah.
always confused
Did he do
me.
Carrie as well? I think he
Carrie
did Carrie.
Carrie.
He
Is
did
that his
the
book?
Green Mile.
Green Mile, yeah, that's pretty good, honestly. But Shawshank Redemption is a short story of his, right? So
Shawshank. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Stephen King as well, wasn't it?
Doctor Sleep is the one that's coming out in January.
He didn't Stephen King write The Shining originally?
yeah, of
yes,
course.
yeah, and,
But
and
then-
Doctor Sleep is the sequel
Yeah.
to it, and so just
The
weird.
Shinin.
So my issue with Stephen King is his books are too fucking long. They're just too long. It's like he doesn't know when to stop. Like if you read Misery, it's not that bad. But if you read it, it's fucking massive.
It's a
It
big book.
goes on
It was a
forever.
big book. Yeah.
massive.
It goes on forever,
And most
No,
of that
it's
is
ridiculous.
pretty fucking boring, in all honesty. Like, it's really a lot of boring stuff in those books. He just doesn't stop. All his books are getting thicker and thicker and thicker. I don't know how he does it. He must just be like all fucking day, every day. There's just no stopping the man. You don't need, just fucking trim it down.
I don't even. There's no way he writes all of them. He probably has like
What are you
probably has like a
saying?
team of like people
He's
that
not-
write books, and he just slaps his name on it. No, one man cannot write all those books. Like,
Apparently he can.
it's like 20 books a year. Fuck me, man.
No, it's not.
Oh, it is. Okay. Alexa, how many books has Stephen King written?
Stephen King has published 58 novels,
Okay.
including 7 under the pen name Richard Bachman,
Right.
6
Richard
non-fiction
Bachman.
books. He has
58
written
books.
over 200 short stories, most of which have been compiled in book collections.
200 short stories as well. So,
Oh, you can knock them out in
okay,
a
so
day.
Stephen King is what, 4 years old? So 58 books and 200 short stories. He's superhuman. He's superhuman. It's too many
He
books.
started in 1967.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, how old was he in
He's 72 now.
Oh my
So he was 20 in 1967. He was 20 years old. That's when he started.
You gotta love what you do, right? To carry on
Apparently he does.
like that long. Fuck me.
I mean, I think the thing is he has written some crackers, but an awful lot of his books, fuck me, they are.
I didn't realize there was an 8th Dark Tower book. I thought it stopped at 7. I'm not even up to that. Was in 2012.
Jeez,
that
so
came
8
out.
of his 58 books are Dark Tower books. That's nuts.
So I'm looking at the length of books. The Stand is 1,152 pages. It 1,138 pages. Under the Dome, which he wrote in 2009, which is dreadful, 1,074 pages.
I like how you said
it
that.
just goes
What
on
is
and on.
that?
Damn.
Under the Dome,
Oh my
which fucking
God, get
sucks,
under
by the
the
way.
Dome, Jenny.
I feel like a lot of his books is like a short story idea that he drags out to 1,000-page.
Well, all the movies are too. A lot of the movies are a short story idea
Yeah.
that's dragged out to 2 or 3 hours.
It's like, where should we set this, Stephen? How about Maine? Can we set it in Maine? Can we? Let's shoehorn Maine into this one.
There's 2 movie adaptations of The Shining, isn't there? There's the famous one, and then there's the not so famous one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but
There's another Shining
I
movie?
think there is.
Oh, I
yeah.
gotta see
I
this.
think that there is.
I really liked. I mean, The Shining's a classic. No, I'm vaguely excited for Doctor Sleep because it looked profoundly unsettling, and I think that's where Stephen King has always excelled, really, in my opinion, in like doing creepy, weird horror stuff where a lot of the time you just don't really understand stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time movies try to give you that closure and like help, and a lot of the time his books, it's like it's just creepy and weird for no fucking reason. I'm not going to explain anything. Do you know what I mean? And then when you get like a movie, they're like, oh, okay, we have to put in a little hint that it's an alien from space or something. Do you know what I mean?
So there hasn't been another Shining film, but there was a mini-series on TV, a 3-episode mini-series.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of then.
in like 1997, apparently.
Right.
So-
I might be thinking of that.
Why did they bother? It's like you can't. Why did you bother? Like it's already a classic.
Because
You know, someone at that table must have been like,
somebody
they've
got
already done a really good
a
movie. on
sniff
this. Why
that there
are we-
was $5 to be made off of it or whatever. So they did
We'll
it
give Stephen King a
for
cameo.
some
and then-
homies. That's why they do it. I've been watching. I watched The Apprentice last night, which is, as you expect, just garbage.
Of
Just like
course.
the same, but I can't stop watching it. I was angry the whole time too. And but I've also been watching this limited series on Netflix called Unbelievable about a serial rapist. It's really interesting. It's based on
God,
true events.
That popped up, and I just thought it would be a bit too fucking
No,
depressing.
Yeah, I
it's-
know. I've got enough in my life. I don't want to be depressed anymore. It sounds
Yeah,
horrible.
it's a bit. It's
Sometimes
it's
I just
interesting,
could
though.
look at.
It's
I looked
interesting.
at the trailer and I was like, "Oh god, this looks very depressing."
No,
I'm
it's
not
worth
sure
a
I
watch.
would
It's
want
really well done. The acting is superb in it as well.
Okay.
And I started watching The Jinx. You ever heard of that? This
Yeah, that's
Robert
really
Durst?
good.
Yeah,
man.
fuck me. It's so weird, isn't it? Like I'm on like
Jinx is great.
episode 3 or something, and
It's amazing that
it's
people
just
like that
fucking
exist.
bizarre. Yeah, it's
Like they
weird.
just exist.
Yeah.
Like that's to me when people talk about some wealthy elite. That's these guys.
Yeah.
Like they live in a whole different world
they do.
from the rest
yeah,
of us.
it is. It's kind of shocking how different it is as well. Like in ways that
it's
you
like
don't.
existence to them is completely different from how it is for everybody else.
Yeah, but really interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really good.
He's
Some good
such a that is
recommendations.
such a bonkers story. Anyway.
We got to stop the podcast, guys. Thank you, though, for listening. We'll be back next week. I've got a few things to do. Sorry, guys, I have to cut it a bit early. But thanks, everyone. Thanks you for the support. We got Patreon. You could support us on there. That's very much appreciated. We don't run ads or anything, but we might do. We might do some ads.
Oh, really?
We might do some
Really?
ads so I can convince these guys.
All right.
Yeah, got some ideas.
All right.
Anyway,
Okay.
We're ready to bury this podcast.
Under a mountain of money.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.